Hi, Linda Bowen here from StampingWithLinda.com, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. It's Tuesday, so fancy fold, and tonight I am going to be showing you a fancy fold with a brand new Season of Green and Gold Suite Collection. Now this Suite Collection is a sneak peek at what's coming as a customer in June in our online exclusive section of my online store. This past Saturday, I told you I created 23 great card sketch cards with this Suite Collection with 3 of my team members. And so I wanted to share what is coming along in the Suite Collection with you. Like I said, coming in June, or you can get it now if you want to add it to your starter kit. Calling it a mega suite because there's so much involved with it. First, there is a bundle. It's called Greetings of the Season, and it's got your sentiments and then dies to cut them out. Next, we have the Golden Greenery bundle. This has a stamp set with dies, but this is a mega suite. It has a vellum paper with it and a designer series paper. The cool thing is that the dies will cut out your pieces from, some of them from your designer series paper, but also from your vellum. So that's pretty cool. The designer series paper has a gold tint to it. I don't know if you can see it real well in the video. And then a plain matte finish on the back side. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Something else that's in this Suite Collection is a beautiful, very vanilla satin ribbon, very elegant. And there is also, these are called Cherry Cobbler Pearl Adhesive Back Berries. And these are a lot of fun to work with also. But for my card today, I am going to use, these are called the Pecan Pie Clear Ribbon Adhesive Dots. And these are also going to be an online exclusive. And I just love that pecan dot, very pretty. So let's go ahead and get started with my card. I've seen this card in several different places. It's called a puzzle slider fun fold, and I have a piece of very vanilla. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have that designer series paper. I'm going to be using this print, and it has the gold on the back, but I really think this is too bold for my card that I'm doing. So I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper with my blending brush, and I am going to add some color to it with that blending brush. Now I don't need it to be a solid all over blend. I do want that vanilla to show. I just want to tone it down a little bit. So this just really changes the look of that designer series paper by adding that color to it. So we've got that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our sheet of cardstock. We are going to cut it down. I'm going to cut it down to 4 1/4 inches. And then finally, the long way, we are going to cut it to 9 1/2. 9 1/2. And then we're going to cut a piece from the other part, just a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. So this is 4 1/4, and we want to cut it at 5 1/2. So we've got that. We're going to go ahead and work with this piece first, and we're going to cut it apart. We're going to take it along the 4 1/4, cut it in half at the 2 1/8, And then we're going to cut it at the one strip at 3 1/4. And that's going to leave us a 2 1/4 inch strip. And then for the bottom, we're going to cut at 2 1/4, and it'll leave the 3 1/2. So we've got those two pieces. Then we're going to go into our designer series paper. Again, this measured 3 3/4 by 5. We're going to cut it at the 1 7/8. So that would be directly in half. Cut at 1 7/8, and then we're going to cut at 3 2 and 2, and it'll give us a 3-inch mark. So we've got this. This is a great card for showing both sides of your designer series paper. So we've got, first we're going to, our small pieces, we're going to have it be the gold. Again, I'm sorry if my video seems a little dark tonight. Like I said, I'm taping this at night, and normally I tape during the day, so my lighting is a little off maybe. You've got that piece. One thing when you're working with this, you got to think about where you're putting your tape. We want our pieces to be opposite. So now I want my adhesive on the back side of this so that we can show the designer series paper. Like so. And finally like so. Then we're going to grab that trimmer again. And we're going to take our card base. We're going to set these up here. And we need to score it. Anytime that I score with my personal trimmer that's under 1 1/4 inch, I always want to put it off to the short side. That way it lines up nicely across the top, like so, and makes it straight. I'm going to flip it and score it at 2. So I'm scoring at 1 and 2 on both ends. So we're going to pull this out here, line it up at the 1, flip it, and score it at the 2. So that is going to create our card base. I'm going to bring in my bone folder. I want this to be nice and crisp folds on both sides. Like so. There's my card. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Very Vanilla for the inside because that is a dark inside and I want something to write on. And I have already taken my dies. Let me scoot this out to get these. And I've taken and cut out my vellum piece. I'm going to put that to the inside. I'm going to just grab my glue. And I am not seeing my glue. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my Stampin' Seal Plus. Normally don't like to use that on the vellum, but because it shows through, but because this vellum has a nice darker shade, it's hiding that adhesive. I'm next going to take my Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm going to run it along the edge, and I'm going to start building my puzzle piece. So I want to just add that right to the edge of my card like so. I'm going to grab the smaller piece, butt that up, make sure it's nice and even. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, add my Stampin' Seal Plus. I want my smaller piece for the top. Line it up. Now the first time I made one of these cards, I thought I had cut wrong when I went to close it because it overlaps. So, oops, looks like I don't have that on straight. This one's not on straight. No, it's the bottom one. So when it goes, this border overlaps so that it still looks like you have that 1/4 inch mark. Now I've already taken the dies and cut out my label. I'm going to grab my Mossy Meadow ink pad and I'm going to just stamp the season's greeting. I want to add dimensionals right along. I see the only dimensionals I seem to have is just the borders, but that's okay. What's left over from a sheet of dimensionals, I'm just going to pull that off. And I just want to add adhesive right to this corner, the dimensionals, because I don't want to put too much adhesive so that my card will open. Grab that greeting. Now all of the tags have a hole so that you can add string or ribbon to that to make a tag, but I don't want to make a tag. I see I've got my dimensional too high there. Let me just pull this up a little bit. I don't want it to be a tag, so that's not a problem, because what I'm going to do is I am going to add a die cut right there. So I'm just going to add some adhesive. I could add a dimensional there, but I think I'll just add some adhesive to cover up that hole. I'm going to go in and grab those pecan embellishments and add them to my tag, and there we have a fun fancy fold using new sneak peek product. Again, make sure you come back and check with me or get on my mailing list so that you know when my exclusive card sketch challenge will be available for you to have. And there we have a fun fancy fold. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.